Hi everyone, welcome. Thank you for joining me. Thank you, chat monitors, for your help. I appreciate it. Having said that, Glorious E, Music Aaron Diana, everyone, I hope you are having a good week. Having said that, the biggest news this morning, before I get into the different topics that I have in the title, is Kushner and some other billionaires. I'm not quite sure if it's Ellison or I don't think it's Ellison, someone else. They are putting together to do a hostile takeover, just like they're trying to do to our government, of Paramount and CNN and all those conglomerates, media conglomerates. This morning, while I was watching the news, I believe his name is Breitbart, okay, and he was complaining how, they are always victim of somebody, just like Trump. Somebody's doing something bad to them, Soros owns all those media companies, and all the media companies are owned by liberals, and the way they are packaging, everything to give to people. So Republicans or conservatives should do the same. I have a prediction for them. They can buy everything. It's not going to work. Yes, there's a certain percentage of our society, for example, MAGA, okay, who are abandoning Trump and drove, and I predicted that a while back. But because of the way they lie to people, if you look at Fox News as a good example, once this thing happens, Fox News will be on steroid then, okay, because they're going to have to compete with whatever they call themselves, MAGAs, that are buying all those from Washington Post to Netflix, everything else. People have the ability to think. Today is not 1920. It's 2026, at 2025. Yes, we're always at 2026. My brain is 2026 already. But my prediction is the way the pie is broken right now, okay, they're not going to be able to change it with all the lies. And let me tell you something else, how Republicans fail people. It's been a while. I remember vividly when they started this campaign to start trying to convince a sector of our society, oh, you don't need college, you don't need to go to college, and they're still doing it, okay? And we can see, first of all, intuitively, I feel, those people who followed their advice and have no critical thinking, they voted for Trump, and that's putting us in a situation right now. I'm not saying we're going to lose it, but he's trying to destroy our democracy. Okay? It's all part of that campaign that Republicans had to convince people, you don't have to go to school, you don't have to go to college, you don't need it. They're still doing it. It's failing. And if I'm not mistaken, I've heard some people mention that on talk shows on TV when they talk about politics. The same failure is going to result. They can buy all the media they want. People are not going to buy what they have for sale, period. People are able to think. And mostly today, with everything that's available, like I said, there's going to be a percentage that will fall for it. They may not even need those guys to spend all those billions buying all those conglomerates, okay, to convince them. They're probably already predisposed to go that way, the way those Republicans are. But intuitively, it's not going to work. That's my prediction. People are not going to follow they're crazy. Women should be barefoot pregnant in the kitchen, and most guys don't want that. Among other craziness they have, they're going to fail again. That's my prediction. The next thing, I better move on to to the title before I get carried over with this thing, because it really annoys me. Yesterday, I didn't see it. I'm not quite sure what I was doing. Oh yes, I was talking to a client. Okay. And I can't take those news conferences where everyone have to flatter Trump. I can only take so much of it. But there are clips of him falling asleep. He can't stay awake. You know, yesterday morning, I don't like to say things when I get them into it, if I get it only once. Okay? So I got it yesterday morning. I felt like his kidneys, I feel he's being affected by the circulation issue, oxygen, blood oxygen, among other things that he has going on. It feels like to me at night, that's why people are saying, what is he doing tweeting at 2:30 or 2 o'clock in the morning? Whatever machine, intravenous drug they're giving him, it seems like it's like in the evening or somewhere in the middle of the night, or he sleeps with the machine hooked up to himself. Okay? The situation is far worse when it comes to his health than we think. I'm sorry I spoke about this yesterday. I don't like to do 2 segments about Trump's health, but when I was looking at, I did give you guys, I predicted over a month ago that between now and January, there's potential for something bad with his health. Okay? And also him going out campaigning and pretending to be, he's in better health than Joe Biden. I'm not saying for sure, may seal his fate as well, as far as getting worse, his health getting worse. But it feels like to me, I'm not a doctor, and I didn't think about it until right before I came on, and I didn't have enough time to do the research. But well, obviously, the circulation problem he's having with his legs, intuitively I feel it's affecting other organs in his body. Those of you who are in the medical field, please let me know if this is correct, because I'm simply giving you intuitively what I'm getting. His kidneys are being affected. His heart, absolutely. That's part carbon monoxide or something like that was what I was getting. That's keeping him, that's for some reason makes him dizzy, okay, or unable to stay awake. 1 second. And there is something with his bladder as well, and I'm going to tell you why. And yesterday I didn't have time yesterday because there were so many things I was covering. And I don't mind, I'm not complaining. Like I said, I was getting other parts, other organs failing, but I wanted to mention his bladder and his kidneys. Okay. I'm not sure, or if even, there has to be a connection between blood flow and our bladder and prostate function, because I had a prostate infection once. Although there isn't enough blood that gets through there, that's what I understand. Medication would fail. Whenever they give you antibiotics for prostatitis, since there isn't enough blood through there, that's why the infection keeps coming back. But there is blood that flows through there as well. But what cured me, since I said this, I better share with you what cured me. Cayenne pepper is what cured that infection. If you want to know, I'll tell you another time. And what prompted, I said, oh my God, I should have said mentioned to you guys, his health, his organs are being affected now. I saw a picture last night. There's a doctor on Instagram. He always releases, whenever something major happens, not major, but an episode, like Trump falling asleep again yesterday, during that meeting, he released a video, and it seemed like somebody took a picture of Trump while walking, and it was kind of windy, and you can see the impression of a box. It seems like they put it like right below his knee, or maybe it was above his knee, it slipped down. Something probably approximately this size, it may be because of the picture, but to me, okay. And the doctor says he probably has incontinence, and they have a catheter, and they have something like that. Again, those of you who are in the medical field can let me know. That's to catch urine if he loses control of his bladder. And I was getting those things. So that's why I'm sharing it with you, to let you know, okay? What I have been feeling for a while is correct. He's deteriorating faster for some reason going forward the next month or so. Okay, so, and there is something else, and also you guys can tell me as well. Please leave me the comments. You know better than I do. I don't have the patience to Google medical stuff. It feels like to me some of the medications that they are giving him is affecting his sleep as well. Not only whatever. There's a machine in his bedroom. I don't think he's in dialysis, but there's some kind of machine that's in his bedroom, okay, that give him the medication or whatever, all right? But those things, and also he gets, besides the dementia, the lack of sleep, and him feeling that he's losing control, his poll numbers are down, among other things, that makes him more agitated, and he has trouble sleeping. That's not helping him either from staying awake, besides the numerous, I don't know, I don't want to use the word his organs are failing, but I feel like saying the circulation issue and the TIAs is affecting his organs. Please let me know if I'm correct, but that's the way I'm getting it. I'm not going to take it back. When I make a prediction, even if I'm not, that's why I try sometimes not to say things I can't prove, but unfortunately, we have to wait to see when this comes about. But my prediction is, I've said this before, his condition is worse than we are being told. That's basically what I'm trying to say. And it's a systemic thing now. They are trying to control it. It's not easy, but let's see what happens. But him falling asleep during those meetings, it's going to get worse to the point where some people in government are going to feel that they're going to have to do something. And I'm going to talk military before I talk about Stephen Miller's life. Okay, hopefully I'll have time to do that. He's talking about wanting to send ground forces to Venezuela. He would like to do it to distract us from Epstein stuff and other failures. Okay? But it's scaring. It's mostly bluff because he has to prove that he's a man for whatever reason. But what's happening is to people like Thune and other people in the House, they are beginning to wonder how whatever he's suffering from, because they are not told, they know something is wrong, but how much his illness is affecting his judgment. They are thinking about those things. It feels like to me, in the not too distant future, they're going to have to hold, or they will be holding, a serious meeting about how they're going to have to do something about this if Trump wants to take this country to war. They may have to throw a wrench into it or something, because they are beginning not to trust his judgment. Because if you can be falling asleep in front of cameras and everybody there, most people, even if you didn't get a good night's sleep, but once everyone is around you talking, you're awake. Well, at least I can speak for myself. Like last night, I didn't sleep. I woke up around 2 o'clock and I didn't fall asleep until 4 because I have a bad habit. Every once in a while I get onto my phone and I'll be up for 2 hours. But once I'm here or somebody calls me, I'm right up. I'm like, oh my God, how do I do this? But if I'm sitting here by myself, I didn't have a good night's sleep. After I eat, I'll fall asleep. So the point I'm trying to make is him not being able to stay up or have all these people around him is because he has no control. And that has happened to me too. If I'm really tired, maybe when I was in my 20s, I could stay up. But even in my 20s, after a limit, a certain number of hours, I wasn't able to control it. I almost had an accident once from working over for 24 hours straight. So I feel the same thing is happening to him, but shorter period. Okay? He can work for a couple of hours, and after that he collapses. That's giving and it impairs your judgment. You can't focus. You can just be, everyone is talking about something very serious. Okay, if we attack Venezuela, what's going to happen and stuff like that. And he doesn't even hear anything. He just wakes up and says, okay, attack Venezuela. He didn't even hear anything. So that's what a lot of those leaders are beginning to think about. Okay, this guy wasn't awake to process everything, all those generals or whoever was in the room discussing how they're going to attack Venezuela. He was asleep. And all of a sudden, just like he did yesterday, and he says, okay, attack them. That's beginning to seep into the thinking of Thune and people and the leaders in the Senate and also in the House. Mike Johnson doesn't care. Mike Johnson is waiting for the day Christian nationalists take over this country or Project 2025 is fully in place. He couldn't care less about where we are. So, but my prediction is before we go to Venezuela, it feels like to me Thune and company, they're going to be talking to Mike Johnson, whether Mike Johnson likes it or not. They're going to want to have a say on whether Trump goes or not. That's my prediction. But right now, it feels like to me it's mostly bluster. And if he does, Americans are not going to be happy. A guy who's falling asleep during meetings, sending their kids to war, to die. I mean, if we fight with Venezuela, we will win. Okay? That's not my point. No one wants to go to war. The president said, who can barely stay awake, sending their kids to war. They're not going to go for it. Not only that, people right now are talking about how even, in fact, I read something this morning. I forget his name. He owns a channel. He's on one of those Democrat influencers. I forget his name, but anyway, he's talking about in his channel how MAGAs are beginning to feel or are feeling that Trump conned them and lied to them. David Pakman is who I'm talking about, and I think I think he's honest. Most of our liberal influencers or Democratic influencers, it feels like to me. Some of them, they give you a little clickbait. I try not to do that, okay? But for the most part, they are honest. And I think David Pakman is honest when he says people whose MAGAs he's spoken to for the past 10 years are jumping ship, and I'm not surprised I predicted that. So the perception is Trump doesn't tell the truth. He's falling asleep. He doesn't know what he's doing. Okay? Everything is a con. And now he's going to send their kids to war. Or they themselves to war. Not going to happen. That's my prediction. Stephen Miller. Stephen Miller is going to have a very hard time whether Trump fires him before something bad happened to him, because as we heard, he's really pissed off at Norm, and that's why he's doing his best behind the scenes to get rid of her. But it's not Norm's fault. What he wants to do, okay, that's why they are arresting even right now, even American citizens, they are grabbing them off the streets just to show that they are doing something to please Miller. Okay? Intuitively, when this administration is over, he's not going to be able to walk or go anywhere freely like everyone else. Number two, I described to you guys, I saw him, or I don't remember whether I mentioned Miller exactly, him sitting, and the number of people from this administration sitting on a long table in front of a judge. There are a lot of things, decisions that are being made behind the scenes that we are not aware of now, but we will become aware of them, that he and Vought and others are making. Like I said, Trump just spit out what he's told. But they are making the decisions. I would not be surprised if my prediction is the international community is going to go after them as well. It's not only going to be Democrats in this country that are going to go after Stephen Miller. And yes, there are going to be warrants for the arrest of certain people. I don't know if Trump is going to be around then. I'm not sure. I'm not going to tell you something. Trump is dying next week, or he died yesterday. Or it's a fake Trump that's walking around. And no, I have no idea. Okay? But intuitively, I feel when this is over, everything you see him doing today, I don't know the people who are recording all the atrocities he's committing are going to come back to haunt. I don't know who's doing it, but there is somebody or an entity, organization, that's compiling all that information. And it's not only us. That those boats and the international sea, okay, that they are shooting, is going to come back to bite them as well. The mother of one of the sellers, if I may call them that way, boarders, okay, has launched a complaint already. There are going to be more. But my friends, Stephen Miller and company, everybody behind the scenes that are making decisions, like I said once before, Trump is just enjoying the perks. Those guys, they have their marching orders. They have things that the policies they want to put in place. They want to change our form of government to get rid of minorities, blacks, and everything else. That's different from them. That's their preoccupation. And also, the guys, remember I told you, there is another version of Project 2025 we have not seen yet. Last night, unfortunately, it was 2 o'clock in the morning. I wasn't thinking I should have saved the link. It's on Blue Sky. There was a gentleman reading another version that have not been published, or it's published recently under the by other policies that the Heritage Foundation has for us. It's out. But all those people behind the scenes that are destroying the government, killing people, laughing about it, yes, they are laughing. Stephen Miller is the first one of, because they wouldn't, why would you go and make sure 2 people who were alive on a boat and trying to convince us that they were going to try to flip that boat full of whatever was in there, and then they were going to be able to continue after the thing was hit with a missile? Are you kidding me? They know. They're just lying to us. I'm sure you guys know that, but since I'm talking, I repeat it. But they laugh. Miller doesn't mind seeing people of color suffer. And that's what Akshat is executing. And yes, he'll pay the price too. But all those things at the right time will come back to bite Miller. And this morning, I felt even his wife will abandon him. That's my prediction. You see the way she's adapting his ways of doing things, arrogant, blaming everybody, try to put everyone on the defensive, thinking they're going to get away with it. They've dismantled every single argument she's gone on TV trying to make, and then she starts screaming, "I'm Jewish." Do you want me to answer this? Because I'm Jewish. I know better than you. Yeah. But watch what's coming. Every single torture I heard they were doing, according to reports, an alligator, that prison they had in Florida, alligator something that they had there. There is a big place in Texas, how they are treating kids, people who are supposed to be on medicine. They are not getting their medication and they are suffering. It's basically tantamount to torture. My prediction is Stephen Miller and others will be held responsible. The only thing he better pray for is if our government gets to him first. Because if the international community gets the first shot, if we get the first shot, we convict them first, the international community may back off. But my friends, the charges, everything is being recorded, or as much as they possibly can, and there are going to be people testifying, talking about their experiences, and those prisons that they have. I'm not quite sure what they're thinking, but it's going to come back to bite. There is no more freedom for Stephen Miller and his family after this. That's my prediction. I wish I could say different. But what goes around comes around. Karma. Hitler and his people did not think they would ever face justice. The same thing is going to repeat. Miller and company are going to learn a very hard lesson, and it didn't have to be this way. Let's see what happens. I think I covered everything, and I don't want to keep talking because, sorry. I'm looking for questions. Martin A. says, "Miller, you're talking Jasmine Crockett." Jasmine Crockett is a winner, guys. Sorry. Sorry. Something went down the wrong pipe. Oh, I feel intuitively, and I think I've said that before here, because when she was thinking about running, I don't know who she's running against, but she's going to be hard to beat. I would be surprised if she doesn't win. Let's see what happens. But yes, whoever that person is going to have a handful, because she's a quick thinker. Okay, let's see. Raymond Di Pasquale says, jobs are down, prices are up, wages flat, inflation up, F-45 was asleep. Wow, that's another thing. I didn't think about that. He's going to have a very hard time, it feels like to me. Let's see what happens. Because this morning, last night, a lady from Politico, I can never remember her name. I mean, at least it doesn't come to me at first. I have to think about it. I'm hearing it, but I can't pronounce it. That blonde lady from Politico. She used to be with MSNBC. She interviewed Trump last night. She says, well, what grade would you give your economy? He said, A+++. Yeah. And he's saying everything is down. And he had, in fact, this guy is pretty funny. Well, I'm just being facetious when I say he's pretty funny. His name is Dan Muser. He's from Pennsylvania. And he was explaining how did Trump put it again? The golden age of America is right around the corner. And he was trying to explain how everything Trump is doing is going to bring success. I'm not an economist, but I can add, I know a little math, or I understand, if you put something in front of me, I would understand it. That guy was so full of baloney, it was not funny. And trying to convince people that the things that Trump is doing, giving tax breaks to those billionaires or trillionaires, is going to trickle down to us, with tariffs and everything else. But those very rich people are going to be able to create enough jobs, to filter down to West people, the little people. Yeah. And, it's okay if you can't eat, and you can't stand on your own 2 feet and be able to pay your rent or mortgage on time. And I was really pissed, but I had no choice. It seemed like Real Page is in charge of whatever. Real Page helps the administrative body and all the buildings or real estate that are doing rental and stuff like that. Or I'm sure they have something about controlling the pricing of people's domicile to private residences. Okay, for the first time I had to log into Real Page to have access to the application that the complex where I live at, you have to go sign into an app if you need anything repaired, any maintenance. And I just realized, I was prompted to sign into RealPage because before I could get into that application, I was not very happy, but I had no choice. I'm sure you guys know if you rent your place, you've heard of RealPage. There are a couple of applications. They control everything. That's why my rent is so high. Yeah. So let's see what happens. I want to go back to Jersey, but it's not better in New Jersey. In fact, you get less for your money in New Jersey. And if you and you don't even get a garage over there, or you have to pay extra for the garage. So let's see what happens, friends. It's really bad. Okay, the golden age. Thank you, Marilyn Landis. Yeah. Wait for that golden age, all right. My guy is bailing out on him. That's not a big problem he has. My guy is bailing out. And I predicted that before. And you know something else I feel? The percentage of people, of my guys, that I felt from a while back were going to stick with him, I think the percentage is going to be smaller. The percentage of my guys who are going to stick with him is going to be smaller. It's not going to be that big. Milu, how far off do you think before we can hold Supreme Court justices accountable for ethic or reverse their make him king decision, if ever, after this administration? And the next president, I don't know how this is going to happen, but the justices, the MAGA justices who are trying to make Trump king, it's not going to happen. And let me tell you guys, I said this before, okay, but I repeat it since I don't think I've repeated it that many times. The next election, if Trump thinks, or Republicans, they're all in, okay, they're going to cheat, redistricting and all kinds of stuff for them to win, they got a nasty surprise. It's not going to work. Americans, and they're not into that cheating and that, and all the things that Trump is doing. You don't think they're following the way? Hi, Mr. Maurice, thank you for re-enrolling. I appreciate it, thank you. Yes, okay. Regular folks are watching. They may not understand the ins and outs of that fancy finance stuff. I don't understand it, or not everything. If somebody were to explain it to me, okay, and somebody says Maha, Ramon Pasquale says Maha, yes, that's another thing. They are destroying our health, everything, research, you name it. But it's because that's what, it's not only Trump. These people want us sick, hungry, and desperate so they can control us. And to believe that's what I feel, and I've said it way before this started. That was about 2.5 years ago when I used to do my Wednesday financial show, okay? But the Supreme Court is not going to get away with this. I don't know how they're going to be held accountable. I wouldn't be surprised if at the right time they don't impeach Robert, okay? And I'm sorry, I'm glad you mentioned this, Diana. I've been thinking of saying this for a while. The rift between the Supreme Court and the district courts is going to get worse. And let me tell you, they are going to put the Supreme Court in a very, very bad light position. It's going to be shocking. Watch. I predicted way before there was going to be a break between the Supreme Court and the district court. It's happening now. It's going to get way worse because the regular district court judges, they know exactly what the Supreme Court is doing, and they don't think it's right. Yes, I know they report to the different, they report to the Supreme Court. But what's going to happen, it feels like to me, that's where I'm interpreting what I'm getting, okay? The way they're going to approach this, they're going to show that the Supreme Court is not in the best interest of this country, and they are not legitimate. That's the way I'm translating it to you guys. That's my prediction. And that's my show for today. Thank you everyone for spending time with me. Diva 369 says, will Trump give the farmers the $2 billion? Yes, they will. Oh, he has no choice. Oh boy. Yes, he will. Thank you everyone for spending time with me. Thank you, chat monitors, for your help. I appreciate it. If anyone would like a reading from me, the link to my website is below the video, psychicmilu.com, or please feel free to call me or text me on my YouTube number. You're very welcome, Maxine. If you like the channel and you are not a subscriber yet, please subscribe, and also don't forget to tap on the notification bell. Please give me a thumbs up. That would help me a lot, and also it will encourage, if you will, the algorithm to keep keep showing the video to more people, because lately I don't understand what's happening. I am busy studying. If you guys notice I haven't replied to all your comments, please don't get discouraged. Post them. I see them and I read them. What I am doing is, I don't know how many of you are familiar with the analytics that YouTube has about our channels as creators, okay? So I am doing a study to see if I can prove to myself, and if I have to get YouTube involved, what I feel is wrong, okay? So I'm doing that too. This morning, that's part of what I was doing. I answered some comments, and I was studying my analytics to see something is not right. But after 2 hours, my video is dead, okay? I'll pick up 1 or 2 views after that. So please give me a thumbs up. That would help me a lot. Okay, everyone, I will see you all tomorrow. Till then, bye.